Hello, this is, or not this is, it is October 10th, 2022. Let's do some recap. Recap of the day. All right, so I had two trades on SPY, one on Qs, two red, one green, ended up with a 1 hour day. That's the basics. Anyway, all right, let's get started. Okay, so SPY, ideally I would love for this to get close to R3 and short this motherfucker. I think SPY is a short until I'm told otherwise. It may rally because I guess there was some good news about Russia and Ukraine. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it kind of sold off into S3, consolidated a little bit, pushed below it, then rallied back up to it. Threw some decent volume on this move up right here, but got stuffed by the moving average and yesterday's low, I think that is. Pretty sure that's yesterday's low. So after this move, I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're gonna, people are gonna buy S3. This is a buying area, so we might rally. So I let it sell off. Once it made this new high above here, I let it sell off back down. It held pre-market low. And then was pushing back up towards S3 and through it. So I took it once it made a new 1 minute high. Stop was, I think, below 360 right here. And it immediately did not work at all. Once this came, I mean, there's decent volume on this move up, but once it got to like the breakout point, it kind of just failed. And then came back down, and then came back up to my entry. Probably should have gotten out. And then it took me out for a full 1 hour loss plus slippage. And this volume on the downside wasn't that great. It wasn't that much. It held this other previous low here, did some indecision, and then broke. And then it broke on some volume here. So yeah, just a little early. But ideally, the second trade was the better opportunity. So it broke above S3 with some volume, then consolidated a little bit, then broke down. Decent volume came in on the downside, but it was kind of creating these bottom wicks. So I figured, okay, maybe it's holding S3. It threw some bottom wicks. Maybe we're going to get some topside momentum here. So I got back in at a new 1 minute high above here, above the indecision. Stop was, I think, just below S3. And yeah, it worked for a second and then came back down, almost stopped me out, then got back to my break even or my entry point, and then rolled over and failed. This one, I'm not too upset with these. This one, hindsight, a little too early. Let it set above S3. This one, the only thing that I could have done better here is wait for some more volume to come in. There wasn't that much on this move up. And the ladder wasn't really there as well. So yeah, just keep note of the volume and the ladder at the time of entry where I'm looking. These things eventually rolled over. Created a nice little opportunity here above S3 and S4. I guess that's when the news came out, but yeah, oops. And then my Qs trade, same thing on SPY, it kind of sold off, bounced off S3 a little bit. I was going to take a trade entry here, stop here. It got to 2R, and then it immediately failed. but I would have had 2R. But yeah, then it failed. It's set up above S3 and S4. I was also going to take a trade here, but I didn't get in. This pretty sure got to 2R. But yeah, it was trying to, I guess, form a bottom, but the volume to me just, there's no signs of stopping. And then it threw this heavy volume here, but it was on the top side. It was like up here. So to me, you know, at this point I'm watching it. So I'm like, okay, is it going to set up and push and continue higher? Or is this a lot of short sellers coming in, defending their position from up here? And are they going to take a lower? Eventually it rolled over. It rolled over through VWAP, or it got up to VWAP and then rolled over. Okay volume on the downside compared to, you know, all this stuff in here as it's moving up. Pullback was on low volume. This move down was kind of low volume as well. And then this right here, this was a sign to me. It threw pretty decent volume, almost as much as up here. I think it was on this candle. So complete indecision. And to me, at this point, I was thinking short because I feel like if this volume came in and these were buyers, it would have moved. But it didn't. So it broke the indecision that it was setting here, but barely. I'm glad I did not get in there because it pushed up a little bit, tested the moving averages, low volume, and then it started rolling over. It made new lows. So I got in at the break of this indecision right here with a stop, I think right there. And I got a nice clean move. It stalled right here for a little bit, but once it got past, it never retested. So I got to pretty sure. Also, I might mention it's in between the S3s, so usually this is a buying range, but there was a huge bid at 265 that it didn't really get to deal with over here. And then below there was more ladder to the downside. So I'm thinking, you know, we're not in a great area for a short, but it's setting up for a short and there's liquidity down lower. So I figured it would go grab it. So yeah, grab this nice 3R move. Eventually it got to 4. Where did it get to 4? Down here, and then even lower. But with the day I had, 2 missed 2R trades, should have taken, followed by 2 red trades that, you know, I kind of rushed, not the best. And then I got this 3R trade. It's a Monday. I wanted to go to the gym. So I just cut it all off. But yeah, I'm happy with this trade. But yeah, that was my day. 1R, green.